Very good morning, guys. Let's begin. We'll start with our today's alumni meet. We'll start inviting the placed candidates one by one, and we'll try to gather the interview questions from these students. Fine. But last time I could not call all, correct? And let's see how many people I can interact with in this alumni meet. So, firstly, I'm going to invite Shabaz Alam. Shabaz Alam. Okay. The
Hello,
first
good afternoon,
candidate.
sir.
Yeah, very good morning, Shabaz. Then I will invite Vaibhav Kashyap. We'll try to do things
Yeah,
slightly different here, right? So, Vaibhav Kashyap, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
yes, sir.
So, we have Shabash. You also unmute yourself. Shabash.
Yes.
Yeah. And, okay, we will take couple of candidates together so that we can interact with more people in lesser time. Fine. We'll take two people together. So it'll be quick also and fast also, the interaction. Also, if you want to interact with any placed candidates of Pankaj Sir Academy, you feel free to visit Pankaj Sir Academy, and at the reception desk, the data of all the placed candidates with mobile numbers is made available. Fine. So without wasting time, let's start. Shabash, please tell me your qualification, year of pass out, percentage, and the companies that you're placed in. Please don't unmute yourself, Vaibhav, because once you mute, you will not be able to unmute yourself again. Okay? So
Hello,
please
I'm audible,
not
sir.
unmute. Huh. Yeah, start,
My
Shabash. Hmm.
my name is Shahbaz Alam, and I'm from West Champaran, Bihar. I did my graduation from Bhopal in 2024. And stream is BTech in Computer Science. After that, I joined PSA in June 25th batch, and then I started preparing. And I start giving interview in December month. So on the first day, I got the one opportunity from one company, first call, first job. Now I'm in HCL at the package of 8 LPA, and for an entire interview process, I got three offers from one from Infosys, another one from HCL, and one more is Fistech. And the question they are expecting basically Java, core Java, in
Okay,
core
I'll
Java.
come to you on the questions. First, we'll
Okay,
begin with the introduction. So he's
okay,
2024 year of pass out candidate, got placed in three companies. He has got 8 lakhs of package. That's his highest package, if I'm not wrong. And
yes.
he has also mentioned the companies where he has got his offer from. Fine. Now let's invite the next candidate, Vaibhav. Vaibhav, please tell us your year of pass out, percentage, and the companies that you have got placed in.
Yeah, I'm 23 pass out. I'm from 3rd Jan 24 batch. So I'm from mechanical background. So with the percentage of 8.4. So I have four offer letter. So from Liberian Technologies, Airtel Africa, and HCL Tech from Noida, and Toyota Kirloskar. So my highest package is 10 LPA, and lowest is 7. So I joined Toyota with 9 LPA.
Right. So he is 2023 batch passed out, mechanical student, and he has got highest package of 10 LPA. So guys, now from here, you both of you turn by turn will tell us the interview questions. We will not talk, we will only listen. So whoever wants to start first, you can start. Okay. So let's
Okay,
start with Shabash. Then he will give a
okay.
pause. Vaibhav will give the interview questions. We'll take the interview questions together. Okay. Let's
So
begin, Shabash.
interview question basically depends on interviewer to interviewer. But commonly in core Java, they are expecting OOPS concept, stream API, and thread concept. In thread concept, they are like join executor method, and stream API is most important part. Uh, they are expecting stream like intermediate method, terminal method, and they can get some question like occurrence of the string, reverse the string using stream API. And apart from in Spring Boot, if I talk about, they're expecting all the annotation which are you using, like at the rate Spring Boot application component, stereotype, and at the rate transaction, at the rate primary.
Okay, so let him think more about it, the questions. Now we'll go to Vaibhav. So he has mentioned Stream API. These all questions are kind of very, very important. So Vaibhav, you tell us, according to you, what questions are important, and even if he has mentioned some of the questions, if it is repeated, you can still mention that.
Yeah, same like after like if anyone is giving interviews after 5 to 20 interview, he will know that all the questions are repetitive. Like some of our Java 8 features, some of our like filter from a list based on the credential they will give using Stream APIs. Also singleton and all factory patterns. So different types of bean scope. In later, it will go in collections also. So also the different annotations, how to manage the transactions. Then in Spring Security, how to implement JWT. So I also included Kafka in my resume. So there are some questions on Kafka also, how to start the consumer's server and later how will the producer will get the message through the Kafka and K-stream tables also. These are the questions. Then later, some of the scenario-based questions are also asked in like managerial round or all. So some of the common scenario-based question in the managerial round is like the search functionality is getting slower when the number of booking is increasing. So what step you will take to improve the database performance? These are the questions that they will ask in scenario based.
Right. So scenario based questions also will be important, right? So we'll try to
Yeah,
ask Shabash, did you get any scenario based questions? And if yes, uh, please do let us know what kind of scenario based questions are they asking in interview.
A scenario based question related to collection, where and when we can use array list and linked list. These questions they asked me.
Okay, so scenario based questions was like where you can use linked list, array list, questions like that, data structures, where you can use it in general, practical usages of it. Yeah, Vaibhav,
yeah.
project related questions, any questions, project point of view, which you feel it is kind of important.
Like I'm not remembering those questions right now, as but yeah, like for scenario based, it's good to prepare very well. Otherwise, you may have answered excellent in
So
theoretical
tell
questions.
us scenario based questions, what they have to be very well prepared with. How many other questions you remember?
Yeah,
Please tell our students what questions they have to prepare on.
yeah. Project related questions like if I have given like I have worked on microservices. So like one of the question is like when a user try to book a room. So if like booking services calls the payment services, and if the payment services is down, how will you handle this question? Handle the scenario. Then also one of the question is like our REST API is exposed to the hotel booking. Then how will you prevent how will you secure the APIs to prevent unauthorized access also? And for like what will you use for retrieval of the hotel property and also deletion of the hotel property? These were some of the questions they asked in scenario based.
Okay, so it's more to do with the implementations on the
Yeah,
project.
implementation part is more important.
See, rather than me calling it as just a scenario based question, it is more to do with cross questioning on your projects. Okay, so they are cross questioning a lot of things on your projects, and you have to be prepared with it. Like, how did you implement this feature? How did you implement some other feature? How did you secure your API? How do you avoid, okay, unauthorized access to your APIs? How did you secure that? So questions like that. Fine. So, um, sir, I'm 2019 MBA passed out student. That doesn't matter. Any questions do you want to ask Sabash and Vaibhav related to interviews? Do you have any questions, audience? Any questions do you want to ask them? Do you want to know something from them? Please tell me. Right? Online students, do you have any questions for them? If it is a valid question, I will ask them and they will answer to that. All right. So
Yeah,
current
one of
scenario
the
comes to me
students,
for
sir,
Java
sir, one
8
of
or Java 17. Vaibhav and Shabash, as you've already
Sir,
joined the company, they're asking,
Java.
will
So
company
they can
use
ask
Java
which
8 or
they
17?
they will start like which version you are using currently. So if someone say using 17, so they can ask what is difference between 8 and 17, and after that they will start focus on 8 because
Okay.
mostly they use it. So firstly, they will ask what version you using. Then they will ask questions from both. What the difference between them? What improved in both? So
No, no. Their question is in the current project, in the company that you're working in, are they using Java 8 or Java 17? His question
most
is
currently using it.
currently 8. So it is like
Yeah.
this, guys. If the project is developed earlier, they'll go with 8. But if you're going with Spring Boot 3, the version of Java 17 is what it would be required there. Did you understand? Huh. Any other questions? Whenever I get calls, they provided me coding test. Mostly called to ask me, sir, provided me. Okay. So you tell me one thing, coding questions when they are asking, right? So what kind of coding questions, Shabaz and Vaibhav, are you getting in interview? In
coding
return
question
test?
was basics or like occurrence of the string, how reverse the string, prime number, and sometimes there is one class and roll number, name, and email ID. So sort the employee on the basis of name.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it is like basic questions is what is telling. So last questions to Vaibhav. So according to you, what are the questions being asked in coding test very frequently?
Same thing that he told right now. Some of our reoccurrence of the strings and anagrams and all this. So, these are repetitive questions. Like all things are asked same and again.
Okay. So repeated occurrence of a string. That is one question
Yeah.
which we heard. Reverse a given string. Okay.
After 5 to 7 interview, the all question will start repeating.
Okay. Another very important point Sabash is telling is after, okay, 5 to 6 interviews, all questions will be repeated. Right? Are you understanding? All the questions will be repeated. If after 5 interviews you have written down the questions, then be very sure about it. Same questions are going to be repeated. So, second person, Sachin is asking, how was the call flow? How many interview calls you were getting?
You will get
I
3 to 4 calls daily, like in the peak, like when hiring is going on, you will get easily 3 to 4 calls. But even in like average days, you will get 1 to 2 calls for sure. Like if your profile is well optimized, you will get surely 1 to 2 calls for sure. I even
Which
got calls on Sunday.
which means you can get 1 to 2 calls, decent resume setup done at a moderate level, 3 4 calls per day. Resume setup done in an excellent way, 7 8 calls in one day can be achieved. Correct. So Sabash, what about your interview flow calls? How many calls you were getting?
same in week every day. I can say 3 to 4, sometimes 5 to 6.
Okay, so every day 5 to 6 calls. So this is very important. How we design our resume, how we prepare our resume, what content are we putting in resume, right? So these all things is important. They will ask you how you do testing. If it is something black box testing, then that is not linked with them. They cannot ask that question. But yes, if it is JUnit testing, what you meant, then they might ask that how did you do JUnit testing in your project. Fine. Sir, also coding questions related to linked list. So what kind of coding question, Shabash and Vaibhav, did you get related to linked list?
Related to collection, they're just asking what is the internal implementation of this.
Okay, so focus is internal implementation of it. That is more important for every data structure that you will be studying in Java. Internal working and practical usage. See, these two things for data structures is important. Now, Ritik is asking from where you prepare all these scenario based questions.
You will get a book from PSA. In this book, everything is written.
Okay. So question bank contributed by the placed candidates. In that scenario based questions are there. Also, we have seen some of the questions being put on the notice board outside. So one student questions given, I was just having a look at it. There are a lot of scenario based questions he has given it to us. Right? So refer the question bank of the placed candidates. That will give you a lot of idea. And another thing, already Shabazz has mentioned this, the first 5 interviews might not go well. You might not basically give your interviews properly in the beginning. The first 5 to 6 interviews, it might not be that good enough. But what will happen is you will end up gathering questions. Once you get to know the interviewer's expectations and questions, now you know how to prepare. Thank you so much, Shabash and Vaibhav, for joining us. And I hope
Thank you so much, sir.
this
Thank
serves
you, sir.
our purpose calling two people and interacting with them, because something Shabash has given us the inputs and some inputs are given by Vaibhav. Correct? So, club together. Thank you so much for taking out time, joining, and educating the juniors studying here how they have to prepare and giving us the actual scenario so that they don't go with some assumptions and then learn based on those assumptions. We wish you all the best. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, next, I would be inviting, okay, the next candidate. Okay, Raksha. So let me add Raksha here. And trust me, this takes a lot of efforts to invite these people here on this show. I'll tell you why. Because once people join the company, they all get busy. And getting this, catching hold of these people and getting them in here, though daily we have 4, 5 people getting placed, but still, after a candidate joins the company, right, they get busy with their work, and again, they're held up with a lot of other things. So, one thing is, I would appreciate my staff that they would still manage to somehow, okay, find the people from the busy schedule and help us organize these alumni meet, right? So let's unmute them. Okay, let's start with Raksha, Mishra, and Pradeep. Please start your introduction, Pradeep. What's your qualification, companies that you've got placed in, your highest and lowest package?
First of all, thank you for inviting me, sir. And I am Pradeep Kumar, and I have done BTech in computer science, and I am passed out in 23. Along with that, I am working in for internet company from it is about to 1 year, and along with that. Uh, we are working on the project with the which has a lot of security features. So in interview they ask me this type of questions to like
Okay, I'll come back to you on questions. Just hold on, Pradeep. We'll finish the introduction. He's 2023 batch passed out. Can you
yeah,
please tell us your package? I missed that.
yeah, it is 8 LPA, sir.
What is your package?
8 LPA.
8 LPA is the
Yes.
package. How many companies offer letters do you have?
uh, this was the first company I was like giving the interview, and I was selected. Along with that, in pipeline there are 4 companies which are like approaching me to
Okay. So first
reschedule the interview
interview
for the
given,
final. Yeah.
first
Yes.
interview cracked. So
Yes.
he did not try much for other companies, right? He got 8 LPA, joined the company. Raksha Mishra, please tell us about your qualification and the companies that you're placed in and package.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, very good afternoon, Raksha. Huh.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you. Because of you only, I have landed to a great job. And my qualification is BTech from Electronics and Communication. And my pass out year was 2021. And currently, I'm working in Bajaj Alliance with the package of 9.5.
Okay. Currently working in Bajaj Alliance with a package of 9.5 LPA, right? So I see, when the qualification of the placed candidates matches with the audience sitting here, they get very happy about it. So I'm seeing some facial reactions. Are you 2021 student? 24. Okay, but you were not happy when 24 people came. You're happy when 21 person is speaking, right? Anyways, but I always see this when somebody placed his 2023, you're also 2023, you're more happy about it. But anyways, you will have all mix and match of audience. So thank you so much, Raksha, joining us. Now let's start with the interview question. So Pradeep, please unmute yourself. Do not mute, because once you mute, you will not be able to unmute yourself. We'll start with Pradeep and then Raksha, turn by turn. Both of you from here will start giving the questions. And then Pradeep, after you tell the questions, you can tell Raksha, please continue. So we will just listen to now what you are telling. What do you say, guys? Yeah? Let's
Yeah,
start,
sir.
Pradeep.
Yeah, first of all, we need to like prepare the basic questions, which is very important. And you guided us to like repeat this like basic questions for 10 times at least, so that they will be like you are not going to struggle in the basic questions. Along with that, some companies ask for the JSP and servlet because they are big companies and they slowly like move to the like latest technologies. Along with that, they are asking for the like in the first round they are asking for the coding questions. So that coding questions are all these questions can be completed with the collection framework and Stream API. If you are using Stream API, uh, it will give the good impact to the interviewer, because a lot of companies are still not using these technologies like Stream API because they are using the servlets and JSP. So they are thinking that these are the good guys we can like integrate these technologies to our project. Along with after that, they are going for the annotations and Spring security. These things they will ask after that.
Okay.
But
So Pradeep will give a pause here. I think he had in his interview somewhere questions on JSP and servlets being asked, right? He has given one very important input, that return test, collection and stream API concepts, make use of that. That will help you to solve your coding round of test. Fine. He also mentioned something about Spring security. Now we will go to Raksha, so that meanwhile Pradeep will start thinking about more questions, because obviously that they have given the interviews could be a month back, 15 days back. They would have forgotten also. So they will also get the time to meanwhile work on that. Meanwhile, Pradeep, you start thinking on further questions. So Raksha, you please tell us the interview questions that you feel it is important and all the juniors of PSA, they have to study.
Sure, sir. Actually, I will start with round one. And generally, there is three round, and fourth one is HR or managerial round. In first round, they basically go for the core questions, like the core Java, and that includes the void main questions. For example, if we do not add the void main, what would be the impact in our Java program? Will it start or not? And what is the significance of a static keyword, finally, finalize, the garbage collections, or this keyword, and questions like this, the very core questions, and all the questions are available in the question book given by PSA. So go through it thoroughly. And it is like, if you are good with your core, you are already prepared for the advance, because only then you will be able to go for the second round, which will be the advanced round. And there they will be more focusing on Spring security. Because with me, it has happened like I have given 6 to 7 interviews, and they have asked the one question which is same, the difference between authentication and authorization, the JWT tokens. And in my managerial round, my manager has asked, what feature have you used for JWT security? So you have to explain the whole code with like special features. For example, we have used has role for authorizations, and they sometimes ask that in your for the projects in your past project, have you used any third party security features? Have you used the third party? Because the JWT token in itself is not the secure enough. You may use the third party when it comes to the security of your project. So these are the expectations, and do prepare for collections because collections is very important. My weak part was collection, so it took me a little of 6 to 7 interviews. After that, I got the placement in Bajaj
So
Alliance.
what
And
questions, Raksha, you got in collection and
yeah,
initially you faced the problem in terms of answering? Can you please tell us
yes,
that?
for example, I was weak in hash map and hash set or like tree map. So they used to ask the features of like what is the difference between hash map and hash set or whatever, like the difference. So because of interview pressure, I do not used to clarify it correctly. Maybe I used to like I was not able to remember at that time. So make the differences of maps like tree map, tree set, hash map, hash set, head set. And like for example, you can go through with coding questions, coding question of list, because that is very important. In my managerial round also, they asked me for write the code, and it was face to face interview. People often hesitate to go for face to face because they think that how will be they able to handle it. But trust me, the face to face interview is way more easier than the online interaction.
Very important point for students listening to this. They hesitate to go for face-to-face interview, and even I have experienced that in the academy. Students come and ask me, they're calling me for face-to-face sort of interview. Should I go? 100% you have to go for it. It will be easier than online interview.
Yes,
Okay?
because when I went for my Bajaj Alliance interview, last interview, and all of the interviews were face to face only. I have not given any interview online in Bajaj Alliance. So they are very polite, and like it is way much easier than the online interviews. And the question which they repeatedly ask about, for example, you have the list of 5 people, you have the name of 5 people, and you have to arrange in the order of second character of their name in descending order or ascending using stream APIs. The second in order, like I hope Sarah understood like what I am saying, like in order of second character from the name, so that they are in descending order. So you try these questions, you ask ChatGPT about such questions more. And spring aspect AOP, they ask me about AOP, join point, point cut differences, and why we should use AOP, what is AOP. So AOP is also important because it depends on what they are using currently in their project.
Okay. So back to Pradeep. I hope you got some important inputs from Raksha. Please go for offline interviews. Do not skip that. Attending interviews in company will be easier. So Pradeep, back to you. Please tell us what all other things students have to be prepared on.
Along with the coding questions, and as you have already told, I think you have told to students that you need to prepare and repeat these things again and again. During my preparation, we have created a group with like 3 to 4 people, and we on the regular basis we do like mock for the at least 1 hour. Here we are share the topics to these topics we will going to discuss in the next day, and we will prepare, and we all have been placed now. So at the first round I have got selected because of this mock interview, and the preparing these questions shared by the academy.
Okay. So a group was formed, some 3, 4 people, and they used to give mock interview daily. So do not study alone. A group is required. Pick the question bank and conduct interviews. From that question bank, ask the questions to your friends. See how they are answering, right? So from that question bank, pick the questions, prepare the answers, how you will speak about that, do all that preparation, and next day you give the interview. Your friend will ask you question, you will answer. You will ask the questions to your friends, and they will answer to it. So this will help you to practice a lot. And the outcome is his complete group is placed. Fine. So a good group and doing mock interviews like this is very, very important. That is what is Pradeep telling. Right. So anything else, Pradeep, you would like to add?
Along with that, you need to spend extra time to for the like project and debugging. Why how you need to if any problem occurs, how you like to solve that problem.
So work
So
on
that one,
debugging, very,
yeah.
very important. Another input from him when any problem, basically occurs. How do you debug a project? That idea you should be having it. Fine. And
Yes, sir.
repeatedly practicing. He has mentioned that twice. That practice and make the foundations very strong. Don't be in an assumption that I know this. When it comes to writing a program, people will do lot of syntax mistakes. They'll not remember the syntax at all. So when you keep practicing things regularly, you will get familiar with the syntaxes. Fine? Okay. So back to Raksha. Pradeep, thank you so much for joining us. Raksha, okay, last 1 minute. Any other questions do you have to be shared with our students? Hello. Okay. So I think, hello.
Yeah, sir, you are
Raksha
audible.
Mishra. Yeah,
Yeah,
not there.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Pradeep.
Yeah, I was asking to implement the coding questions with the Stream API and collections.
Sir,
Give the priority to Stream API because I already told that it is important to convince the interviewer. It is most important thing,
sir,
and they ask.
sometimes
Mhm.
So sometimes they focus on deployment also, like what was the steps of deployment? How do you deploy? Where do you deploy? And these are the questions which they sometimes ask in managerial round, where we are like, okay, like in these questions we sometimes stuck because in practical we don't know how it is done in projects. So the deployment questions are sometimes asked.
So working on deployment questions, the best answer for this will be our DevOps lectures, right? So that will give you a lot of idea about the deployment. And that is going to be an advantage for you when you're going for interview, that you also have good knowledge of DevOps along with development. Okay. So thank you so much. What are the questions being asked in HR about your day-to-day activity? Right? Okay, one question. Any questions on GitHub did they ask you? Now, this
Yes.
is something we did not ask the audience, but yes, that's a good question. Anyone can answer.
Yes, sir. Sometimes they ask about Git commands that have used. For example, they say, "Yes, I got to know that they used to question about merging conflict. How would you solve the merging conflict when you merge your code with the upstreaming codes?" So yes, they ask about the commands of Gits.
Okay. So Git is kind of very important, but one small update for the students. We are going to learn all these Git and GitHub things more in detailed manner in our DevOps lecture. Okay, so there you will have a very good experience and exposure being given in terms of how to use GitHub. Okay, so that one thing we will be working there more strongly. So that is the answer. They are asking questions on GitHub. Fine. Okay. Um, Fine. So that's it. Thank you so much, Raksha and Pradeep. We will invite the next candidate now. We wish
Thank
you
you,
all
sir.
the best and
Thank
God
you, sir.
bless you, both of you. So next, let us invite Mohammed uh, Asfaq. Okay, so I would be inviting Asfaq. Yep. So let's add Asfaq and then
Sir.
Nishchita.
Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir.
Very good. Good afternoon, Nishchita. So this is actually going little good, calling two people, right? Because we are getting multiple inputs from the students at the same time. and the procedure of understanding questions are becoming little faster. Otherwise, one person, when I interact, it is taking a lot of time. And last alumni meet, I could not invite a lot of people who had in fact joined our show, and it got very delayed. Okay, so Nishchita and Ashfaq. Ashfaq, let's start with your introduction. Companies that you've got placed in, your highest package.
Hi, my name is MD Ashfaq. I have completed my BTech in 2023 in CS branch, and then I joined at Pankaj Sir Academy in the Feb 2024. And then I got the placement in three companies. My highest package is 9 LPA, and my lowest package is 7.5. Is my lowest package is SCL, Accenture, NSC. I placed in three companies.
Okay, so the thing is clear. Ashfaq introduction, all of you. He has got placed in multiple companies, packages, right? And year of pass out. Nishchita, let's start
Um,
with your introduction.
yes, sir. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the whole team. And I'm Nishchita. I did BSc in computer science. I'm a 2023 pass out. And later I joined PSA in May 2023, May 7 batch. Later December onwards, I start giving interviews. So I have given interview for PhonePe, HCL, IXC, Co4J, and IQG Vision, Yes Technology. As so many interviews I gave, and I placed in IQG for 7 LPA. Later, when it's come to interview round, yeah, later I will explain.
Okay. So I hope you got this. She's from BSc background, correct?
Yeah, yes, correct.
BSc in what?
Computer science only under.
Computer science. So she has done
Yeah.
BSc, and Ashfaq, he has done 2023 BTech.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So again, in the same sequence, Ashfaq, see, please genuinely guide our juniors.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When I
Yes.
add the word genuinely means, please tell us what all challenges did you face during your interview, and how did you overcome those challenges, how they need to prepare. So one roadmap for these guys will get created, right? So please
Okay.
tell us that.
Can I speak, sir, Hindi? I'm
In
more
Hindi?
comfortable. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. You can speak in Hindi.
सर मुझे मेरा प्लेसमेंट हुए हुए हो गया अराउंड 3 मंथ के करीब मैंने 3 मंथ पहले ज्वाइनिंग किया था कंपनी उस टाइम पे तो सर ज्यादातर क्वेश्चंस कलेक्शंस और जावा 8 फ्यूचर्स के और मोस्टली बेसिक के कम क्वेश्चन होते थे बट ये क्या बोलते हैं जावा 8 और कलेक्शन हो गया एसक्यूएल के क्वेश्चन आते थे और बेसिक ये पूछते थे कोडिंग क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट राउंड में और सेकेंड राउंड में मोस्टली एसक्यूएल क्वेश्चन पूछते थे 2-3 क्वेश्चन ऑलमोस्ट पूछते थे मैंने स्टार्ट किया था जब तो मैंने अप्रोक्सीमेटली मैंने 20 इंटरव्यू दिए थे तब उसके बाद मेरा सिलेक्शन हुआ था बीच में मेरा डिमोटिवेट भी हो गया था मैंने आपसे कई बार मिला मेरा कई कंपनी में फाइनल राउंड में जाके मैं छट गया उसके बाद मैंने फिर मेरा एक कंपनी निकला उसके बाद मैंने लगातार 3 कंपनी में मेरी सिलेक्शन हुई उसके बाद मैंने ज्वाइन कर लिया एक कंपनी हाईएस्ट पैकेज था 9 LPA वो कंपनी मैंने ज्वाइन किया और एक चीज और कहना चाहूंगा कि जैसे आप तैयारी करते हो तो सिर्फ इंटरव्यू पर परस्पेक्टिव से मत तैयारी करो क्योंकि आफ्टर ज्वाइनिंग कंपनी डिफिकल्ट होता है सर्वाइवल पर जैसे बेसिक चीजें होती है वो आपको आना ही चाहिए आप एज ए जा रहे हो अगर ये करके तो आपको कुछ बेसिक चीजें आनी ही चाहिए फॉर एग्जांपल गिट हब आना चाहिए आपको डिप्लॉयमेंट पाइपलाइंस आने चाहिए विनर सीपी पुट्टी दिस थिंग्स आपको आने ही चाहिए ऑलमोस्ट हर किसी को आना चाहिए जो भी अगर ज्वाइन कर रहा है एज इस पे तो आपको गिट हब विनर सीपी पुट्टी और फिर आपको एक आईडी पर कमांड होना चाहिए पूरा कमांड हर एक चीज पता होना चाहिए आईडी के बारे में आप मल्टीपल आईडी यूज करते हो वो फायदा नहीं देता बट एक आता है तो कंपनी ऑलमोस्ट कंपनी प्रेफरेंस देती है आपको जिस पे आता है वो ले सकते हो आप ये करके ये कहना यही थे सर
Back to Nishchita.
Yeah.
So I hope you got the questions, what he said,
Yeah.
students. Okay, Nishchita, back to you. Again, we'll go back to Ashfaq. Meanwhile, let him work on more questions. because obviously they've given interviews few months back. Remembering all of a sudden is difficult. So meanwhile, he'll start preparing. Nishchita, you can
Yeah.
start with the questions.
Yes, sir. So for me, as also we had a three rounds, two technical and one is manager. Manager round was face to face for me. In a two technical, when it's come to the coding and all, they asked me like second largest element in the array, and design pattern also they asked like singleton, factory and builder, like what kind of design pattern you have used in your project. Then coding like counting the strings, and in the array, I mean in a one name string na, if what and all the uh, alphabets and all, like if it's a nistita n is how many times, like counting of the string in a verse, it is they asked in java code as well as stream api. And also they reverse the string, remove the duplicate from the array, like linked list, if you create one linked list, then add or remove, find, all these some basic operation you have to do. All these question I have asked by the interviewer. And also they told me that create on basic api, so you can hit from the postman using post mapping. You have to pass the body like name, marks, like a student, like that, all the api creation they told me to do. Then when it's come to theoretical knowledge like multi-threading also they asked some they told me that they showed one code, like in this code which method called like m1 m2, like that they asked. And when it's come to java 8 features, they asked me some they showed me one code, they asked me to write lambda expression for this code. And also some functional interface, like, and stream api is very important. And when it's come to collection, one interview they asked me the internal work of hash map, like how it works internally, like that. And spring boot, some annotations are very important. In face to face they asked me to write the code on spring security. They gave me one marker and use board, and using board you have to write code, like how you implement a spring security. And also they mention ss, so the third party things you have used in your project, like that. Microservice also they asked me like fn client and all, like how you use and what is that. So I told from past 1 month I'm using a microservice, before we have used monolithic, like that. And you should not stuck in an interview, and I suggest all my juniors there. And you have to make one friend of one senior batch, one friend of the junior batch, so that you have to be updated what and all the senior is studying now, you have to involve in them, so you have to ask question from them. So that, and also the junior, if they ask questions to you now, you will get some recall. So always make a friend of one senior batch and one junior and one your current batch. In my case I used to do that. I'm a may batch, feb batch student also my friends, and august batch student also my friend. So feb batch student got placed, even my batch friend also placed in hcl, and I also placed. So this help you to always updated to the concept. When sir told in a class some new concept, now you won't get fear of the hearing the new concept, because you have already discussed with your senior. So this will be one major advantage for me to give interview now. I will participate in their interview also, so it will help me what kind of question I can expect from the interviewer. And in when it's come to the sql question na, they ask me the maximum salaries like thread operations and all, and what and all technology you have mentioned in resume, you have to work on that. And in the initial days of my like work company na, I am struggled in like some tools like sonar cube and jenkins, this jira, these and all the basic tools you have to learn before joining the
Now, yeah,
companies.
yeah, this is where again the DevOps will come into picture,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? So what DevOps lectures we are going to take it now? Precisely these all tools like SonarQube, Jira, Jenkins, Kubernetes. Like this, there are near about 17, 18 tools we will be working on. Fine. So that is one thing. Yeah, go ahead, Nishita.
Yeah, later, while in an interview, while you are giving the interview, na, you have to be practice in coding. Okay, most of the time you know how the logic works, but execution of that logic is very important. So you have to do coding daily, minimum 6 hours. And as I said, always make a friend of senior batch. It will be really helpful for you. Not only stuck with the person who from your batch, and speak in English in a class. Okay, because communication is a game changer. Most of the time your interview going to be held because of your communication in your telephonic round. And introduction of yourself is also very important, because you know that introducing yourself is a pakka question in an interview, so be well prepared for that. And also don't leave the interview without asking the question to the interviewer, so you have to ask the question at the end of at least two, like what and all the technologies we are going to use in a company. And like if they ask any question in between the interview, if you're not able to answer it properly, don't tell that I don't know the answer. Tell like I know this concept, at a present I'm not able to recall the things, so once I done this interview I'll work on that. Like that you have to give them answer, so that they will think, okay, this candidate is curious about the things, even if she is not aware of that.
Right.
And also,
So
yeah.
some questions that we have it here. Now, see, this is not a show for counseling anyone for joining the course. It's a purely technical discussion. I'll keep the discussions related to only interview questions. Okay? You ask me any other questions which is not related to technical discussion, we will not be able to take that in the show. Then the purpose of the show will be gone. See, we are all here to understand interview questions. Fine? So any other non-technical questions, we will not be picking that up. Okay. Anyways, did they ask you about space and time complexity?
No,
Ashwak and
in
Nishita, did you get any question related to space, time, and complexity?
for me, they didn't ask, but one of my friend, while I was attending their interview, there they asked like OF and what and all the time complexity of binary search question they have asked. But for me, they didn't.
Okay, so you did not get that. Did
नो
you
सर,
get questions
एक
like
बार
how do you
पूछा था।
raise? Yeah, Ashwak, yeah,
पेटीएम में मैंने जब लास्ट टाइम ज्वाइन करने के बाद दिया था एक इंटरव्यू, तो पेटीएम में पूछते हैं, जो प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी है मोस्टली वो लोग पूछते हैं ज्यादातर डीएसए से ही फर्स्ट राउंड, ग्राफ्स फॉर टाइम कम्प्लेक्सिटी, ये सब पूछते हैं। पेटीएम मैंने दिया था तो पूछे थे उन्होंने।
right. So I hope you got the answer for this technical question what Rahul has asked. Did you get question like how do you raise ticket in Jira? Nishchita Ashfaq, did you get any questions on how do you
जीरा
raise a ticket
No, in
in Jira?
interview I didn't get that. But once I joined the company, I learned that how to use Jira and all, like story
Right.
things.
In interview, it was not asked, but from the practical point of view, it is important that you should know Jira. That is what she's telling. Okay. Now, Ashfaq, what about you?
जैसे आप अगर जीरा हो गया चाहे गेटअप हो गया, इनसे क्वेश्चन बहुत कम पूछते हैं, क्योंकि मैंने बहुत से इंटरव्यू दिया, क्वेश्चन बहुत कम आते हैं, बट कंपनी में मोस्टली यूजेस यही होते हैं। आपको आना चाहिए, क्योंकि आप एज ए ये जा रहे हैं, तो आपको ये सब आप पूछ नहीं सकते। अगर आप कोडिंग में फंसते हो तो आप क्लिक से पूछ सकते हो, आप हेल्प ले सकते हो, बट बेसिक टूल्स में अगर फंस रहे हो तो फिर आपको डिफिकल्टी होती है सर्वाइवल इंटरनल में।
Done. So,
तो
this is something important for you, for me as a trainer, all of us, that we will have to have good exposure on Jira. Fine, which we will ensure that in our classroom sessions also, we will stress on these things. Jira related stuff, how it is being used in the companies, everything, we will discuss on that. Fine. Please tell, okay, did you get questions like how do you avoid data leakage? Ashfaq, Nishita, any question? Data leakage?
नो सर।
No, even I also didn't get that.
No, there is no question like that. It was asked. Right.
सर एक चीज और
So,
है, सर एक चीज
हाँ,
और है कि अपने रिज्यूमे में कभी फेक चीज ना लिखा है। जैसे होता है थोड़ा सा एंगुलर का ये हो गया नॉलेज, आप डाल दिए एंगुलर डेवऑप्स, अगर आपको नहीं आता है तो ना लिखे, क्योंकि कंपनी में जाने के बाद कई बार होता है कि एक मल्टीपल प्रोजेक्ट चलते रहते हैं, आपके पास एक प्रोजेक्ट पे काम नहीं, आपको दूसरे पे डाल देंगे। तो जैसे मैंने ज्वाइन किया था तो मेरी एक मीटिंग हुई थी, वहाँ पूछे थे कि आपको डेवऑप्स आता है, तो मैंने लिखा भी नहीं था। वो बोले थे अगर आप झूठ यहाँ बोलोगे तो मैं रिज्यूमे निकाल के देख चेक करता हूँ। तो मैंने बोला कि सर मुझे आता ही नहीं।
Resume will not have any lie. Important advice from Ashwak. Don't put anything in the resume what you don't know. Keep only that what you know. Fine? Keep that in mind. Very important advice from Ashwak. I hope you guys liked the discussion with Ashwak and Nishita. We wish you all the best. God bless you, both of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
थैंक यू
much.
Yep.
सर।
Most welcome. Shrishti Mondal and Swaraj, next candidate. Right, so let's invite Shrishti and we have Swaraj Singh. Okay, so let me ask these people their introduction. Swaraj, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Okay, so Swaraj, tell us about Swaraj Singh is not unmuting.
Hello.
Anyways, we'll start with Shrishti meanwhile. Shrishti, start with your introduction. What is your package, companies that you've got placed in?
Hello, I am audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Srishti Mandal. Actually, before, can I speak in Hindi? It's more actually.
सभी को हिंदी में ही बात करना है, no problem.
Actually, 3 months. Actually, no. It's a 5 months before I joined our company. It's a Alumni Financial Services, and my highest package is 6.5 lakhs. And now it is a Dubai-based company. Actually, it is a currency company, and this is not a service-based company, not a product-based company. It is a own service company. And here, actually, I experienced more about the other than interview because they are using ARIX strut. They are not using in nowadays. They are not using these old version. But I experience all that things, so it is so difficult for me. But for the interview perspective, there is actually collection for Java. All that things are important. This is for my side.
Right. So Swaraj, कहाँ पे हो भैया स्वराज? Okay, we'll invite Sajid meanwhile. Sajid Khan. So Sajid, meanwhile, let's
Yes, sir. Good
start
afternoon, sir.
with you. Begin with your introduction, companies that you've got placed in your package.
Okay, my name is Sajid Khan, and I have completed my BTech in 2022 in computer science background. And I joined PSA in July 2024. And my lowest package is 7 LPA in SCL, and my highest package is 10 LPA in Cognizant. And it's a when I had already joined SCL, I received a 10 LPA package offer from Cognizant, but I didn't accept it since I had already committed to SCL. That's why.
Okay. So I hope introduction is clear. Let's start with the interview question. Shrishti, please start with the interview questions and then back to Sajid.
Yes, sir. First of all,
1 minute,
interview
हाँ.
question will.
Swaraj has now joined us. 1 minute, इसको भी ले लेते. 3 लोगों के साथ डिस्कस करते. So स्वराज,
Yes, sir.
कहाँ पे चले गए थे भाई?
Sir, left hand side, please.
Right, ठीक है. Okay, so let's start with your introduction. Uh, which all companies are you placed in your highest, lowest package?
Sir, my name is Suraj Kumar Singh. I am from Jharkhand, Jamshedpur. I am from BCA. I have completed my BCA in 2023, and I joined Pankaj Sir Academy in May batch in 2024.
and I got placed at 9th Jan 2025. I started my interview at December 2024, and the first interview was from HCL, and the first company is HCL. After that, I didn't give an interview because I needed that job, and the highest package I got is 7 LPA from HCL only.
Okay. Okay. So we have two people from HCL, Sajid and Swaraj. Both of them joined HCL. Shrishti, back to you. So now interview question one by one. Shrishti, please start with the questions.
Yeah, sure. First of all, for interview perspective, there is a actually पहले जो candidate आए थे वो जो ऐसे ही बोले core Java is the most important and there is a basic knowledge is most important and collection is a not actually collection use नहीं करा जाता है company में but collection interview perspective collection is the most important topic for the interview. For that and another that
See, one small thing, collection data structure खुद से implement नहीं किया जाएगा, but collection use होगा. Okay, understand the statement. Like you will use linked list, but you will not create a linked list logic by yourself because it is readily available. Okay, yeah.
yes.
Mm, mm.
And actually मैंने I think 15 से 20 I think 15 to 20 इंटरव्यूज दिए हैं इंटरव्यू में मैं एक चीज बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस की हूँ आफ्टर 2 to 5 इंटरव्यू के बाद क्वेश्चन रिपीटेड हो जाते हैं और एक चीज मैं एडवाइस करना चाहती हूँ जब भी इंटरव्यू हो तो जो क्वेश्चन आते हैं इंटरव्यूअर से वो नोट करके रखिए तो ये रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन बार बार आते जाते रहते हैं तो ये इजी हो जाएगा जूनियर के लिए एंड another thing that is कभी कभी ये होता है अगर आप जावा एक रेज्यूम में लिख रहे हो कि जावा आई एम यूजिंग जावा 1.8 इन यूजिंग इन माय लास्ट कंपनी देयर यूजुअली क्वेश्चन फॉर दैट बट इन द कंपनी दे आर नॉट यूजिंग जावा 0.8 आप वहां पे जाके जो जावा वर्जन यूज करते हैं उसको सीखना पड़ेगा लेकिन बेसिक आपको पता होना चाहिए ये और एक चीज है और एक मेरे एक कंपनी के एक्सपीरियंस की वजह से मैं बोल रही हूँ कि ये लोग मेरे कंपनी में एक्चुअली एरेक्स यूज करते हैं जो एक्चुअली बहुत ओल्ड वर्जन है एक्लिप्स केपलर यूज करते हैं जो बहुत ज्यादा ओल्ड वर्जन है बट there is a core Java that is basic thing. And one more thing that the last candidate I don't know they are not using or not. एक्चुअली माय कंपनी मेरे कंपनी में एक्चुअली एसक्यूएल यूज करा जाता है तो एसक्यूएल क्वेरी इज अ मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग मैं एक्चुअली इंटरव्यू में बहुत एक्सपीरियंस की एसक्यूएल क्वेरी ये दिस इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग selected from that updated query delete query all that things is a most important पता माई एसक्यूएल एक्चुअली सर आपने हम लोगों को माई एसक्यूएल वर्कस्पेस सिखाया था लेकिन माई एसक्यूएल नो एसक्यूएल दैट इज ऑल आर सेम पीएल एसक्यूएल ऑल आर सेम बट बेसिक पता होना चाहिए सब कुछ के
Right. So Shrishti is been telling SQL अच्छे से practice कर लो, prepare well, because SQL questions are also being asked, and that's very important. Fine. Back to Sajid. Sajid,
Yes, sir.
please tell us from your point of view what all questions are important and what our students should focus more on, right?
Yeah, the interview asked mostly question from core Java and Spring Boot and SQL. If you didn't mention microservices in your resume, it mostly focus on core Java. It's a and SQL is 2 to 3 question asked joiner and indexing, primary key, foreign key, and unique. It's all these question asked, but it's a interview of focus only core Java and Steam API. It's
Core
a
Java, Steam
internally
API
working.
collection. Pakka questions. Okay.
Firstly, it's a how to check if list integer contain only odd number in Java. That it's a give exam. It's give the questions and Second one is ask the question was how to reverse string.
Okay. What was the last question? Can you tell me? We did not get that.
Which question, sir?
No, last question, Sajid. You said something. Okay. Anyways, now back to Swaraj. We'll take the questions from Swaraj. So Swaraj, please tell us what all interview questions you got it, and what all topics are important. What things our juniors they should focus on, right?
Yes, sir. So from starting, they ask me about the project, what are the project you are working, and they will start some basic questions from Go, Java, and Java 8 features, because I mentioned that I'm using the Java 8 only. So the Java 8 features, they will try to ask you to elaborate all the topics like mutable classes, and stream API, functional interfaces, and lambda expressions, stream APIs. Those all you have to explain one by one. And if you are mentioning those topics, you also have to uh, have some knowledge about those topics, because they can ask questions based on programs on that topics also. Like I mentioned, I have a knowledge of stream API, so they asked me to perform a program on. They gave me a table of employee, and they asked me to do some operations on those employee. So these are the questions you will get from the Java and Java 8 features. After that, if you are mentioning that you also add SQL, Hibernate, Spring Boot, and microservices, they will go through all of those topics also. Like they asked me about the monolithic architecture and why to go monolithic architecture. Uh, why not microservice? And if microservices, why not monolithic? These are the questions they have asked. There are also optional class questions and string class questions. Design pattern, they will ask which have design pattern you have worked. Like I have told them that I have used a singleton class in my project. So these are the questions they are asking from the.
And sir, I
Okay.
want to add some questions.
Yeah, Sajid.
Suppose how to does garbage collection work internally, and what is the internal implementation of hash map, and how does the concrete hash map maintain thread safety? Explained string pools works in Java, and it's a mostly ask the commonly questions the volatile keyword. How does the volatile keyword work internally? And
Right.
it's a what is the internal working of collection dot short method? And it's ask one question is how to achieve memory management. How does achieve memory management? And in a Spring Boot, that how does dependency injection work internally in a Spring Boot? What happens during the auto configuration process? Explain the life cycle of a Spring Bean. And how does Spring Boot internally handle application properties? And what is the internally process of requesting handling in Spring Boot? And it's a asked how does Spring AOP work internally?
Right. So
In
Spring.
SQL is how does the database engine process aggregated function like count and group by?
Now we have some questions from the audience. Let's take it this way. Did you get any questions on generics? In Java, we have a topic called as generics. Did you get any questions from this concept generics, Swaraj, Sajid, Shrishti? Did you get any
No.
questions from this concept?
No, sir.
No. But see, this is very important because if you are learning collection, you should have knowledge of generics. If you are learning Java 8 features and if you want to know functional interface, generics is required. So topics are not just important from interview point of view. There are certain topics important from the learning point of view as well. Fine.
Sir,
The
my
next
advice
question
is
we have,
simply,
did they,
sir, my
yeah,
advice is simply,
huh,
whatever the instruction are you telling, you just follow it blindly. Whatever during the course after it, if you put in the efforts, you will 1000% get place, sir. And Shahbaz Alam is also my roommate. It's a we got a place in same company and same location in SCL.
Right. So first candidate whom we invited in the alumni meet, Sabash Alam and Sajid Khan. Both are roommates. If I'm telling you, if your group is good, complete group will get placed. If you study all alone, you will not get placed. Okay. Then we have a question. Did they ask you any question? See, DSA is important. So whatever collection, stream API, linked list, all that they're talking about is your data structures only. That's the data structures part in Java, which is very important. Any question related to sorting?
Yes, sir. They will ask the sorting questions also based on the employee ID or employee name, because they can give the program in your chat box, and they will ask you to perform the necessary sorting on the employee table.
Right. So sorting is important. Fine. Next, any question related to JDBC?
It's a JDBC only for ask the connectivity. How to connect the JDBC connectivity. It's asked only for.
Basic question, how do you connect with Java? Using Java with database. Simple question. Next question from the audience side. Did they ask any question regarding legacy classes?
The legacy classes. No, sir, legacy classes.
Did not get that question in interview at all. Okay. Thank you so much, Shrishti, Swaraj, Sajid, joining
Thank you,
us.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Exception topic.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Exception.
Exception topic. Did they ask anything?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They will surely ask the exception handling in Java. You have to explain all the exception handling, checked, unchecked is, and also from the Spring Boot, like global exception handler. How do you use custom build exception? So you have to explain all the things so they can understand that you are already working on those things. You are not reading only, you are working on those. So you have to explain one by one clearly.
Yeah, ask
Right.
the common questions, difference between exception handler and at the rate controller.
Advice controller.
Yeah, and how do you handle exception globally in a Spring Boot application is the commonly asked. And response status is asked. What is the role of the response status in exception handling?
Right. So thank you so much, guys. We had more people, but unfortunately, right, I'll not be able to connect with them today. But I hope today's alumni meet, it was confidence giving for all of you. Questions to summarize core Java concepts like collection, stream API, very important. Some questions on strings, logical questions. Find a given word, reverse a given string, sort a string based on the second character. So one of the student has exclusively mentioned that twice. Sorting of array, removing duplicate elements from an array, these are all very important. Some more important questions is like internal working of data structures. So this is very, very important that you should have idea about the internal working of data structures and how did you implement this in your projects. Fine. Then scenario based questions on your projects, that how did you implement a particular feature. So questions like that is being asked, that's at project level. So Spring Boot annotations, Spring IOC, right? Then Spring AOP and various other questions. How do you handle exceptions in Spring Boot? XYZ things, that is also very, very important. So one of the student also mentioned be prepared with SQL. You should also have good knowledge about SQL, JSPs and servlets. Be prepared. So ultimate thing is we cannot predict from which part of our syllabus the questions will come. Right? The questions might come from any part of our syllabus, and also be prepared with a question bank. that has been contributed by placed candidates. So this is in actual what is happening in your interview. So rather than going with a assumption, looking at something, just taking some assumption by if you study this, you will get the job, you'll study that, you'll get a job. Leave that assumption. These interactions with a placed candidate gives us a complete clarity about what's happening in the current market. Also, the interview calls, it all depends on your profile optimization. You notice the students were telling the worst case 1 or 2 calls per day. And if you optimize your profiles good enough, it is optimized, then up to 5 to 7 calls in a day, you can get that easily. Fine. Another important input given by the candidate was who got placed in Bajaj Alliance. She said, just go for, okay, face to face interviews. Okay, go to the companies and give interview. Just don't give online interviews. Going to companies and giving interviews, people are polite, interviews are easy. She got placed in Bajaj Alliance, all the interviews happened offline, and that was kind of easy. Fine. I hope today's alumni meet. Finally, keyword is a very frequently asked question. One new topic that I did not listen all these while from the students was garbage collection internal working, which means garbage collection internal working. Also be prepared with that. How to improve communication skills? Form a batch. We have a question bank. Conduct interviews. Pick 10 questions. Prepare today. Next, tomorrow, next day, it should be like your friend will conduct interview. He will ask you questions and you will start explaining the concept. This will definitely help you to improve your communication skills. Okay, so we'll meet up again next week, and again we'll conduct alumni meets which will give us a good clarity about how we should prepare, guys. That's it. Bye bye. Take care. See, some questions, okay, which are not frequently asked can be ignored. Okay. In any interview, 100% answers need not be given. 70-80% answers, if you're giving an interview, you are selected. Okay. Keep this in mind. Nobody is expecting 100% answers. Even the placed candidates here, they have not given 100% answers in interview. If you don't know the answer, directly tell them, I don't know. I've never worked on this.